Hola, ¿qué tal, payasos malévolos? Soy Paola. Estoy el día de hoy aquí con Carlos. Carlos, ¿cómo estás?
Hola, muy buenos días, gente de IronCast.
And I'm also here with Arjen. Arjen, how are you?
I'm very good. Thank you, Paola.
I'm very happy to hear you again. Welcome back.
Yeah. Good to be here.
How are you? How these times treating you?
I'm been a recluse for 30 years now, so really nothing changed for me. I had 30 years of practice in lockdown, so no, really, every day is just exactly the same for me. I'm working in my office, I'm working in my studio, I walk the doggy, and I shop once a week. So nothing changed.
It's great to hear that. That is maybe not affecting you that much. We have a lot of topics for this interview, but we want to start with one very important. That is about the Electric Castle Live and
Right.
other tales. Tell us a little about this new release.
It's the original album was released in 1998. So 20 years later, it was about time that we we did it live. So yeah, it was the 20th anniversary of the album, and it was great because I could get almost all the original singers. There were only two singers who were not available, so that was great. Yeah, it's like a very true rendition of the original album, and it's augmented by the other tales, which were like I also played one song of every side project that I did.
It's been amazing, but how have you felt the acceptance of the DVD?
The reactions are really positive, and usually I'm quite surprised by that, because I don't think it's good enough. But this time I was very sure of it myself. All the musicians played great and all the singers sang great. It was filmed with 30 cameras, which they did a great job. The sound was good, everything was just good. So yeah, reactions have been very positive. We entered the charts in #1 here in Holland, and we entered the top 10 in Germany, and it entered the charts in other countries too, which is quite amazing for a live album. Usually live albums don't sell so well, but no, the reaction has been really overwhelming.
It has. Actually, I've been seeing in a lot of groups that the people it's very happy with the work. And I think that you put a lot of efforts on it. You and all the people on it. So tell me about future play shows. You were going to play on the night of the Pro.
Yeah,
so
right.
Do you have any news about it?
Unfortunately that is cancelled, because it would have been in July. And I don't think there will be festivals anymore this year, so that is, unfortunately, it's cancelled, which is a shame, because we were headlining the most important day, the Saturday, and everyone was available, and I think many Arion fans bought tickets, but it's a real shame. It's cancelled.
Okay, so do you not have any clue about when you are going to play again?
May, it's so hard right now, when we're not gonna arrange any shows until this is solved, because the thing is, if you arrange an Arion show, it takes at least 1 to 2 years to set it up, so if you set it up and you work on it for 1 or 2 years and it's cancelled, that's like a big letdown, of course, both financially and a lot of time that you put into it. So at this point, it's very hard to say what the live future plans are for Arion.
Okay, of course we understand that maybe we have to wait until this happens, but also something important. Days ago on social media we saw that you say that you will have a project soon. We are just about to ask about that project, but 1 hour ago on YouTube, because we are subscribed to your YouTube channel, and every fan on IronCast should do, uh, we discovered that we have the name of the new project.
Right. Yes.
Transitus. Transitus. We discovered just 1 hour ago while we are working on these questions. So tell us what you can tell for this project now.
Well, I've been working on this for 3 years. Ever since my last Arion album, The Source, I've been working on this. And in those 3 years, I had no idea what it was going to be. I didn't know if it was going to be another project or a solo album or whatever. But yeah, in the last few months, I felt it really sounded like an Arion. It really felt like an Arion. It has many guest musicians again. It has a story again. And I think the pre-sales will start in about 2 months. And the next 2 months, I want to just slowly build up the tension. You know, I do that every time. It's very mean of me, very evil. You know, I love to do guessing games. Then we put a file on Facebook with just audio, and then we ask people, do you know who this singer is? And that's very cool, you know. So I'm slowly building it up, and every time people get a little bit more information. So yeah, I can't say too much about it. Sorry.
So maybe not about the artist, but the inspiration that you have with this album. Can you tell us something more?
Yeah, sure. This is, I think, the most cinematic album I've done, which means that I watched a lot of movies. I listened to a lot of film music, and I think that's new for Arion. It's very it's almost, you know, usually Arion are rock operas, but this is more like sort of like a creepy musical, something like that.
So do we have a release date?
I think I can't be sure, of course, with this Corona thing going on, but definitely the end of this year. You know, I guess it will be like in September.
Yes, that's actually a very good thing, a very good news. And tell us, what will you say to someone that never heard Arion before? Nothing. Something to encourage him to listen to Arion. How do you sell Arion to someone that never heard it before?
I would say it's more than music. It's something you have to really experience. You know, you can't just listen to one Arion song and say I like Arion or I hate Arion, because every song is totally different from the other. I mean, you can listen to Valley of the Queens, which is a really soft, beautiful folk song, and then you can listen to Dawn of a Million Souls, or you know, and it's like a really heavy metal song, and you go from opera singing to growls to electronic music to classical music. So yeah, you really have to sit down. You know, if you are a YouTube guy and you want to be satisfied between 2 minutes, then you should not listen to Arion. You really have to sit down, put on your headphones, and then you have to dive into the story, because every Arion album is a story, both lyrically and musically. So you really go through a lot of different moods, and some of the parts you will not like, some of the parts you will really like. But the idea, Arion is pure escapism. You know, my idea is, if you listen to Arion, you just forget about the world. You just sit down, and you really have to take your time. You have to at least sit for an hour, 1.5 hours, because it's usually double albums, and just let yourself go and let yourself be part of the story.
A beautiful way to describe it.
Yeah, I was proud of that myself.
Those words are recorded for the young generations of IronCast that never heard Arion. Now is the time.
Excellent.
I think of you like a person that actually cares about humanity and that kind of stuff. So do you think that we are going to learn something about it? Like we are going to evolve like a species?
I
Or
really,
what?
I really hope we're going to learn from this, and I think we will. And what I hope is that we pull through this together. What I really, really hate is all these stupid conspiracy theories, that the government is behind this and they're trying to do this and that. I hate that so much, we are all in this together. And the only way we're going to get out of this, if we all trust each other and if we all help each other, if we're all there for each other, that's the only way, not get angry or not think that people are after you or I really want to stress that. That's very important for me.
So, do you have any clue if anyone new is going to join to this Iron universe? Maybe not the names, but you're going to work with someone new?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I love that. I think half of the musicians on my new album are people I've never worked with before. It's a big challenge for me, Of course, there are always some people that I will always want to be working with, like a lot of instrumentalists. But I want to always broaden my horizon, and I always want to work with new people, and I want to find new talent or old talent, So yeah, definitely a lot of new people again, which you will find out in the next 2 months.
We will. We are going to be very pendant about it.
Cool.
It was very. I was very happy when I saw that you were working on something new.
Good.
And it's already finished.
Yeah, I've been working on it for 3 years, and at some point at the beginning of this year, suddenly I was like, "Hey, wait, I think it's finished." So I called up the record company. I said, "Well, I've got a new project and it's finished. What do you guys think?" And they said, "Well, yeah, we can't release it this year. That's impossible." And I said, "Yeah, but it's finished, and I really want to release it. I want to share this with the fans." And then, of course, this whole Corona thing happened, which means that a lot of releases are delayed because, bands often want to tour when they release an album. So luckily, it was possible to still release it this year. The only problem is, the companies who make all the packages and stuff, of course, they work slower now. And I think the companies in Italy, which is a country where the Corona is really not doing very well. So yeah, that could be the only problem, that things won't be ready in time. But I mean, we started really early now, so I think we'll make it.
Okay. And one thing important, this is a very important question for Paola, for me, and for a lot of people, for a lot of fans that you have here. You think that someday Arion will go to play in Latin America, for example, here in Mexico, where we have very good venues?
I'm very sorry to tell you that that's not an option.
Tell us why.
Because I am a recluse. I don't travel. I'm always at home. And there's maybe a couple of hundred reasons why I don't tour anymore. It's not my passion. My passion is to create new music. My passion is to be working in my studio. And also, I'm just not a people person. I love to be alone. And I also hate traveling and too many reasons, sorry. I'm also a really, really bad sleeper. And I just want to be at home. I'm terrible. So yeah, very sorry for that. And it's already a big step for me to play the shows here in Holland. But once every 2 years, it's something I can survive. But touring is really, I've done it in the past. I've done it for 15 years in the 80s and 90s. And it's not just my way of life.
So we have to go to you.
That's terrible. I feel so egoistical by saying that, I feel such a bastard, for having people. I won't come to you.
Understandable. understand for completely. So we have
Okay,
to go
okay.
to Holland to see you.
I'm very sorry, but yes.
Maybe that's a secret. Maybe that you don't go a lot. You focus on your work, focus on staying, creating these things. Is the like the secret, the way you create things
I think
such great.
so. I think so. I think it's the only way for me to do it. If I really concentrate on it and if I really work on it every day, I can do this. If I would be touring, I would not be able to be as creative as I am now. I still remember from the days when I played live that it was not creative at all, because every night you play the same songs, you go to your hotel, all you want to do is sleep, and you travel, and you have to socialize with a lot of people that you don't like, and there's yeah, really, and there's lots of drugs and alcohol and aggression, and it doesn't have to be that way, of course, but it was in the years that I was touring. So it's not creative. I could not be creative, and that if I can't be creative, I'm not happy.
And you've been doing great. Actually, the last works, it's been amazing. So I think that works.
I hope so. Thank you.
Yeah, so it's been amazing to have you here again. And we're very happy to talk a little more about the album when it's released, if you're okay
Yeah,
with
sure.
that.
Yeah, sure. Maybe by the end of this year again,
Hopefully.
and we can talk about it. And I'm curious to hear what you guys think of it, of course.
We will listen to it. And now to all the people in IronCast that are listening right now, we're going to leave also all the Arjen and Arion YouTube channels and Facebook links here on the description of this interview, so you can follow this work and also be the first ones to attend when this album release.
Great, thanks. Gracias.
Por nada. Well, Arjen, thanks a lot for this one. It was a great interview. We are so amazing that it was so amazing that we just find out about this new title of your work 1 hour before this interview. So we are happy with all the things that you tell us. It will be great to hear something new from you again. And as you said, we will be talking again at the end of the year when